What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be getting my Z650 ready for storage, and thought I'd make the video on how to do an oil change. So here's the oil and filter I'm using. I'm going to use the Royal Purple and the Hiflofiltro, and all I need is the socket and gloves for tools. Preferably, I'm sure it'd be nice to have a oil filter wrench, but I don't have one of those on hand. Also, Royal Purple for the oil, I figured it was just a hoax. I ran mobile last season after running Royal Purple the previous season before that, and I thought that the wet clutch was better with the Royal Purple, so going back to that. Anyways, to start, I'm gonna go and take it for a quick ride. I'm gonna let it warm up, get to the normal 2-bar operating temperature, and take it down the block quick. Then I'll be ready to change the oil. All right, guys, I took it down the street. It warmed up good, so it's ready to drain the oil. What you need for draining the oil is a 17mm socket, whatever drive you want, and the bolt is right there, right at the bottom of the oil pan, of course. So break it and get your oil pan. Just come right out. You let that drain out good, and I'll show you the filter here. So for the filter on this one, I tried the K&N year before with the nut on the end of it there, and with that nut, I have the Yoshimura exhaust. With that nut, I could not get it in there, and I didn't feel like taking it back, so I unbolted my headers and put it on. But I got rid of that after last year, and this year I ran the OEM Kawasaki. So without having a good pair of oil filter wrench, or good oil filter wrench or pliers, it's kind of hard to get it off. I just use channel locks and maxed them out here, and I can get a hold of it a little bit. Not as easy. Like I said, a good oil filter wrench is needed, but I'll be back when I can get that off. I'll show you guys. So what I'm actually gonna do before I take that filter off, I'll put this drain plug back in so I can move the oil pan over there. But you want to make sure your drain bolt's nice and clean. Make sure there's no dirt or anything on it that can mess up the threads, or make sure there's no metal shavings on it. But just go ahead and put it right back in. And I'm sure you can look up the Kawasaki torque specs if you want to use a torque wrench to tighten it, but I just go nice and snug. Don't need to overdo it. That's plenty. Plenty right there. All right. Come over here. Situate your drain pan under your filter so it doesn't spill on the floor. It's also nice to have one of those oil mats from Walmart. They come in handy for a lot of projects, but I'll be back when I get it off. Now, once you get your filter nice and loose, you can go ahead and start it off the rest of the way. It should come right off here. Go ahead and set it down in here. It's nice to drain your oil pan, but you can see that. I'm sure this is pretty much common sense by now. Ooh. But want to get that filter nice and oiled up, and you can use the old filter and do a little tip touching if that's your thing, but I just like to use the new oil. And go ahead, come down to the bike. Once that stopped dripping for the most part, get her to start threading here. to set you guys down. It's a hot header. Might want to use your gloves for this because that's a nice and hot header to, you know. It's a two-hand job, so I'll be back once I get it started. So once you get it started here, it obviously should spin on freely, or you might be cross-threading, but get it as nice and hand tight as possible. And once you're done with that, it's good to give it a little spray of brake clean, carb clean, whatever you use here on the header. It'll burn off, but I still like to do that. Next, we'll get on to refilling the bike with oil. Now, once you get the filter back on, plugs in, and you're ready to put oil back in, you can get cranking. So I got one of these little small car SUV quick fill funnels from Walmart. I really like them for working on mowers or anything, motorcycle, whatever else. But Kawasaki calls for 1.9 US quarts in this bike, which when you do the math comes out to 3.2 ounces left in the second quart. So it takes the full one of these. And you can see the level coming up in the sight glass there. They make an even smaller one of these funnels, which I can't remember if it's quicker or not. I feel like it might be a little quicker than this one. The other one, I'm sure you can put the full 2 quarts in just fine. It won't hurt nothing, but I'm just gonna go with what Kawasaki calls for and do 1.9. Rookie, man, YouTube career is over. Why is it filling the whole entire box? I'm confused. Now it's going down. Anyways, first YouTube video, folks. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you're at least laughing if you're an expert, but not looking too hot. Live and learn. Royal purple, that's like $5 on the floor right there. Jeez. Alright, back to cranking. Let's see it coming down the sight glass. Probably lost 3.2 ounces on the floor right there. Just let her top off. It's been what, 3 minutes of me explaining how to put oil in a motor. Jesus. Rocket scientist, folks. Rocket scientist. What do we got? Yep, looks about good. Now, if you have brain cells, like me, and you don't mess up on anything, you're just the ideal human, you'd probably be out riding this thing by now. But, over here in this garage, we got some work to do on our filming. Maybe I have performance anxiety, I don't know. Anyways, cap back on. Wait for that level to come down. Like I said though, I think royal purple is the way to go on these wet clutches. I figured royal purple was always a hoax, just like the next guy. Figured it was a gimmick, just the color or whatever, but when I switched it out for mobile and I was riding it for the first time and shifting, the wet clutch just felt clunkier. I don't know, maybe it was in my head, but I just thought that royal purple shifted smoother, but you can see we're at the level. So you can put her down and ride her, but hope you enjoyed my video. I know it wasn't perfect by any means. Love this bike, love riding. Have a good one.